Son, I am disappointed. You guys remember that meme? When you set your expectations too high, you're bound to be disappointed. And that's what this top 10 list is about. These are 10 fragrances that thoroughly disappointed me. We kept things pretty positive last time with fragrances that I was really happy to try this year. These are 10 fragrances that I've experienced throughout my fragrance journey that really let me down. The first one being CH Men Sport by Catalina Herrera. This one's kind of strange, right? The original CH Men was so good, it got a lot of compliments, but it had this burnt sugar quality that wasn't necessarily amazing when it got really hot outside. So boom, CH Men Sport comes along in this amazing looking bottle. The back of the bottle has the blue liquid exposed. So cool, so awesome, but it wasn't. There was nothing really about this fragrance that was very sporty, unless if you're into equestrian, then perhaps it would work. To be completely honest, I didn't have incredible expectations about CH Men Sport, simply because I knew that a lot of people just hated it online. So I went into it knowing that. And sure enough, it was confirmed, even though I really wanted to believe that everyone online was wrong. But you guys nailed it. CH Men Sport sucks. Number 9 is by Parfums Vintage, and it's Pineapple Vintage Noir Intense. Parfums Vintage is a pretty cool company because they send me cool fragrances for the frizzle for free. But above all else, my favorite from the house is Pineapple Vintage Noir. It's an amazing fragrance, it gets me tons of compliments, it lasts me a long time, and it smells fairly unique considering it's trying to be AVENTUS. Also, let's give it up for the AVENTUS light, guys. So cool. I'm a real YouTuber now, man! So when I heard about Noir Intense, I was like, this is perfect. We all want intense things in our lives. In the frag-com, intense means better, always. Not in this case. They intensified the noir, smoky quality, and it just didn't work. The difference wasn't crazy drastic, but it totally became a different fragrance. And I almost feel when they took it even further with Beyond Noir, it made more sense because it was clearly trying to be something other than itself. Noir Intense just feels like a half-completed fragrance that was just kind of trying to push the envelope, but not really quite far enough, and it just was a bit of a disconnect that I didn't really like, and it was a shame to me because the original Noir is so good. Try it out if you haven't, guys. If you're all on the Emperor bandwagon, X-Batch, great fragrances, but Noir has a special place in my wee soul. Number 8 is Armani Code Colonia, a pretty popular designer fragrance that a lot of people seem to enjoy, but I just felt it was one of the most unnecessary releases in a long, long time. You already had options, right? The orangey, citrusy Armani Code Sport, or the fresh, uplifting, minty ice. I love the Armani Code line, so I do take it really personally when something gets released and is pretty uneventful. They've since gotten their act together because Absolute is absolutely brilliant, and Profumo is great as well. But Colonia, just kind of an empty release. It really made me feel sad inside. Number 7 is a niche fragrance by the house of Xerjoff, and it's called ZEFIRO. I don't mind ZEFIRO as a fragrance. I think it's pretty neat, especially if you want to smell like a smoky bale of hay. For those of you who don't know, ZEFIRO is part of the 1861 line by Xerjoff, which is 3 fragrances, including my favorite fragrance of all time, Xerjoff Naxos. I started with Naxos, absolutely loved it, moved on to Renaissance because the notes looked like something that I would really like, and I did. Love that fragrance. And then I thought, well, you know what? I might as well complete the set. Let's go for all 3, and I did. My mistake, because ZEFIRO, I've probably worn it 2 times in the 3 years that I've owned it. And I really enjoyed wearing it, but it was 2 times in 3 years. I mean, it's not good math. I guess what disappointed me most was the lack of wearability with it. Renaissance could be a summer signature scent for me. Naxos, all day, every day. ZEFIRO, I don't know. But I had to have it because I'm a weirdo. I'm a completionist. Number 6 is by Mugler, Alien Man Fusion. I mean, shout outs to the design team, the designers of the bottle, not the fragrance inside, because I tried this in Scotland Mugler is one of my favorite houses. I've owned every single male fragrance by Mugler, but I'm not getting this one. I'll tell you that for free. For free, it costs you nothing. What really disappointed me about Alien Man Fusion is it seemed like a bit of a cop-out. First of all, when I put it on, I just didn't like it. Nothing really spoke to me. It seems very simple in how it's composed. At least the original Alien Man really tried to do something different. But Alien Man Fusion, it just seems kind of like a blah version of the original. I equate this exactly to Amen versus Amen's first flanker, Pure Coffee. Pure Coffee promised coffee, but the coffee note wasn't even enhanced really. The other notes were sort of retracted, which allowed the coffee note to be a little more prevalent, but not nearly as much as you want it to be. Alien Man Fusion is a little bit more fresh, and it doesn't have nearly as much of a coffee note that you want. It's the same thing all over again. If Thierry Mugler was my son, I would be saying, son, I am disappointed. Number 5 by the house of Tom Ford, Oud Wood Intense. Oud Wood Intense, guys. We wanted oud wood that lasted longer. I've personally never had a huge issue with oud wood's performance. I do have the old vintage gold label version, but even still, oud wood has never really been known as a monster beast mode performing fragrance. Until now, right? Wrong. Oud Wood Intense is not an intensified version of oud wood. It's just a different fragrance altogether, and it's nothing special. Even though people were a bit apprehensive about the whole intense flanker type of thing with the private blends, it really should have been its own fragrance, and I still wouldn't have liked it. But because it got the oud wood stamp on it, it's even worse. Huge bummer. Number 4 is Aventus Cologne. Yeah, I know some of you are like, oh, you expected it to be good? Really, James? Yeah, I did. I had high hopes. I'm a positive guy, I'm a bit of an optimist. And I really, really wanted Aventus Cologne to be good. And even though I pretended like I didn't care, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna order a sample, you know, I'll just try it whenever I feel like it. As soon as I passed by a Creed boutique, I went straight in and got a smell. Now, of course, I pretended to be into it. In front of the sales associate at Creed, I was like, man, you, oh, you can smell all the cool notes. Well, yeah, wow. But as soon as I walked out, yeah, it's crap. It's less Aventus, more Royal Water. And although Royal Water has a great name, it's not a popular fragrance for a reason. I didn't enjoy Aventus Cologne, even though I'm open to the idea of flankers. I'm not hating on the flanker idea, but I feel like it could have gone a completely different way, and it just became another fragrance with the Aventus brand on it. You guys see a trend here happening? Creed family, I am disappointed. Number 3 on this list is, I think, the cheapest fragrance that I'm talking about today. And it's by my boys at Armoff, and it's called Le Parfait. If you know this fragrance, you know where I'm going with this, guys. This is a huge, huge disappointment, just because of the fact that it was marketed as a mixture between Aventus and Green Irish Tweed. 2 $400 men's fragrances that are absolutely beloved in this community and worldwide now. More and more people know about the Aventus DNA, whether we like it or not. And at the time, Armoff was kind of killing it with its clones. Club de Nuit Intense Man being one of the most cost-effective, cheap, but awesome men's fragrances. Très Nuit being probably the closest thing to Green Irish Tweed. So once you started hearing all the rumblings of like, oh, this is wicked, dude. Très Nuit plus Club de Nuit Intense Man, AKA Aventus and GIT, bro. Bro! I get the shit in the mail, I open the box. The bottle's kind of neat. Interesting, weird, flasky, clippy design, but it had a magnetic cap, so I was kind of sold on that. But its smell, no, it doesn't smell like Aventus, it doesn't smell like Green Irish Tweed. It smelled more like Très Bon by Armoff. Another fragrance that got some quiet hype for a little bit. Très Bon was a little bit more on the bitter-sweet side of things, but really, it's all under the same umbrella, you know? Armoff's good and all, guys, but they're not really pushing the envelope in the quality department, and their prices reflect that. They're still very affordable for the most part, especially when you compare it to some other guys doing the same thing. But Le Parfait, I wanted you to be so good, but you weren't. Some people like you, but I can't even look at you. I am disappointed. Number 2 on this list is B-Men by Mugler. Man, another one. I feel like B-Men was a disappointment for a lot of people. And that's because There's only one B-Men. There's no B-Men flankers. And don't get it twisted, guys. B-Men isn't really a flanker of A-Men. The only thing they share is the bottle design. But B-Men was really intended to be its own separate line of fragrances. The notes are really different, and so is the smell. And it's a different that I didn't really like at all. Love the bottle, love the army green with that reddish sort of star. So cool to have and look at, but never smell. I blind bought it because Drakdox said it's good.
So if I'm gonna go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give it a rating an 8 out of 10.
If you guys don't know Cody from Drakdox, he's probably one of the first fragrance reviewers I used to watch on YouTube. But he has a certain way with words, and he brainwashed and tricked me into getting B-Men. And as much as I love the A-Men line, B-Men, oh boy. But my #1 fragrance that disappointed me more than anything, more than the commenters making fun of my Super Saiyan hairdo. This fragrance was made by one of the biggest and most popular designer houses in the fragrance world. I happen to own a lot of their fragrances, don't mean to flex, but as disappointed as I was in this fragrance, I have nobody but myself to blame. It was a 100% blind buy. I liked the original, I loved some of their flankers, and I was obsessed with the bottle design. The notes too, they looked pretty good online. I thought it was gonna be a very fascinating twist, but it was a huge dud and gave me puke vibes. Not only did it make me want to eject, it kind of smelled like it too. It just kept lingering in the background, just the way the notes melded together, it was just, ugh. So #1 on this list happens to be my least favorite fragrance ever, by the House of Dior, Fahrenheit 32. Fahrenheit 32, you suck, man. The worst. You're terrible. You're a bad fragrance. Creamy vanilla plus gasoline? Of course it would work. I know some people like it, but I hate it. It's the worst. But I hate being negative. J-ROYL's all about positive vibes. So please go check out this video, which is about the fragrances that I really liked this year, that I really enjoyed testing. But this is just my opinion. I know you got your own. If you don't, get it.